like during the day, like on Saturday or something.
I kept mine yesterday. He like wore me out.
You have read it yesterday?
He got wanting to wrestle him and all stuff. I said, you can't do that. I said, you'll be wanting to do it at school. And he said, no, this ain't school, let's go.
Man.
He started leaving, pick up hands, and he said, Pop, I'm hungry. I said, well, I'm gonna make something. Tonight, when we get back from Nancy, he said, no, I want pizza and ranch.
Caesars is open across
I
there.
tried that lunch, it was good.
They lined up.
I walked over there. And he said, executive. So we just got pepperoni pizzas out. I said, he said, yeah. I said, I want that and order wings. Put it right out there. I was back over here in less than 5 minutes. Can't ask for no better than that. It was good.
Well, my grandbaby will be back in town Thursday. They're flying in, so.
Did you see my grandson, first time he went hunting? Got my 8-1.
How about that? Went with his daddy.
Justin said, Mama, he said, this is the day he was born, this is the day I've been waiting.
You know you walked into something the other day when you seen us. When we was vacationing.
At the Huddle House.
I can't remember where it was at, where it was in.
Yeah, I opened my mouth and then they too, but it wasn't a week later, y'all. Yeah, I
She
did.
just didn't like have a pub.
Georgia, giving them my prayer.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any further comments? Approved minutes of October the 8th and the 28th.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? All vote. Approved to pay monthly bills.
Motion to approve the pay monthly bill. Second.
Any discussion? All vote. Clerk of Court, Julie Wilson, discuss budget.
That's me.
You good?
And carry on.
You're good.
I'm here to discuss my budget, which I know is pretty self-explanatory on your agenda there. I'm here to propose an amendment to my budget to make an increase for the line item of the clerk for deputy, the salary for deputy clerks. This line item has nothing to do with myself. It has to do with my 3 deputy clerks who were so gracious to take their time to come here tonight. The line item that is currently granted for the 2019-2020 budget is $79,000. I requested, and it was denied, but I'm asking tonight for it to be amended to add $10,000 to that line item, to increase that line item to $89,000. That's the amount that it was actually set at for the 2015-2016 budget year. I'm sorry, 2016-2017. It was set at $89,000. It was cut the next year, the 2017-2018 budget, it was cut to $79,000. That's also during the time period where we actually lost an employee. Within the past 4 years, there's been a little bit of turnover in the clerk of court's office. Ms. Meyer retired, I was appointed, and somewhere within that fall, we've actually lost an employee. But that's okay, because the 3 that I do have, we do a great job. We are up to date, we keep it going, we handle superior, state, and juvenile court. We did handle magistrate until a few years ago. We turned over the criminal bad check portion of that to magistrate court. know that in Georgia, you have to have a balanced budget. And I know at this point, we do have a balanced county budget. But there was some amendments made to an office last month, so I thought I would give it a try and see if the proposal that I made earlier this year could be granted and this line item of my budget increased.
Dude, all I know is if you'll come up here in 3 or 4 months, we're gonna be working on our next year's budget. But if you'll come up here and bring up what you think you need, we'll work on it. That's all I know to tell you. I mean, 'cause, you know, I'm not gonna get in a big discussion, but this other thing that you're talking about, that was put back several months ago. It wasn't something that just popped up all at once. But, and we put that was in the plans. But if you'll get your girls there, and I know they all doing a good job, and I know they all need a raise. But if you'll get it in 3 or 4 months, we're coming up with our budget, and we do everything we can to help. Like I told you before, I do everything I can.
And you know, I've requested this for the past 3 years. I mean, I understand you said that was months in planning, but I've requested this for 3 straight years, and it's been denied.
I didn't.
See, I ain't know nothing about no 3 years. All I know was just last year.
And the first time I ever met you was just the other day, so I hadn't heard anything about it.
I'm pretty sure we will talk about it, though, discuss it.
In my budget meeting, it was Mr. Carter, Mr. Benjamin, and Mr. Williams. That was the 3 I met with.
Last week.
Yeah.
That was all I ever heard.
But they asked for no discussion. They asked for no reason why I felt like I needed my budget amended. I mean, it was just pretty much, no. I had 2 things I asked for. 2 things that I asked for this time, different than last year. I asked for a raise on that line item for the salary for deputy clerks, and I asked for a rolling file metal cabinet, an extension to the files that we already have. And I got nothing. So I understand, you know, there's wants and there's needs. Is it a need right now that I need that extension for the rolling cabinet? No, sir, because I see that down the road is coming. But I do see a need for the increase in that line item for my deputy clerks to maintain the work that we put out that we do now.
Well, like I said, if you'll get it together 3 or 4 months, it's right around the corner, it ain't that long. I know now, and the rest of us knows where you at, and we're headed.
So there's not gonna be any vote, that's just a straight, no, we're not gonna consider your proposal.
Well, I just don't see where we have the money to do that. I mean, right off the bat, I mean, it's. If you'll get.
I mean, you consider that there was funds for the other office, but you're not gonna consider finding the funds for my office?
Well, that was something, but way back there, it wasn't something that just come up.
We said we'll look at this. Just a couple of months, we'll look at it.
It ain't that long, but I'm telling you.
What's the difference? Is there
New budget year.
that they took a benchmark test?
New budget year.
It's just a new budget year.
I mean, if you just hang on.
That's it, no consideration, no,
I would like to wait till the next budget.
okay.
Next on the agenda is approve deny contract between Jeff Davis County EMS and approved care service for heart monitor.
Yeah, what it is, there's 2 heart monitors that they use for EMS. They're asking this Stryker company, which is the company they use, and it would just be if they maintain them, it's $3,060 a year, and then inspect them, do any work, repair, anything, keep them operation like they're supposed to.
We already used the help for that.
At the moment, we're not, but we should be. We should be.
So it's just to keep them in check and related to the welfare of the citizens of this county, I'll make a motion that we approve that contract.
Second.
Real quick, well, we'll discuss that.
Any discussion? You want second?
What are we doing now? Nothing?
We're not in compliance, that's what you say.
They're not being monitored and inspected and all this. It's just maintaining what I do. So you're talking to a guy that don't work at DMS.
Right, I wish Ronnie or
I
somebody.
do too. So you want to table it?
Table it till they get rid of it.
We'll come back next month.
Let's do that.
That would be
So I'll withdraw my motion.
We'll table that. I'll make a motion
So
to
I'm
table.
not a person, that's the only thing.
Right.
By no means,
We need a motion for that.
table that one.
Didn't you make a motion?
I said I need a motion. Need a second.
To table, do you
Yeah.
have a motion? Yes, second.
All vote. Approve, deny purchase of a truck for the rec department.
So that's another one of those trucks not been bought before. This one is a,
So you did find one, let's say.
yeah, it's a 14 miles, 95,000 miles on it, but they've been driving about a month now, and it's actually in perfect condition. And it would be $14,000.
What do we do with other than trade it in?
We're gonna sell them.
So we got money for it?
Yes, and it's lost.
I make a motion that we're happy with it, go ahead.
I need a second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All vote. Approve, deny fencing for 341 complex on the Baxter Highway.
Are we approving the fencing or are we approving to get bids?
That's what we were gonna talk about.
We're gonna talk about it and get the bids or whatever they want to do.
What I had looked at and doing, had Bruce to measure, and it would just be fenced in, basically the field. The sports complex won't be the farmer's market, won't be parking, won't be splash pad. If the city ever puts up their playground equipment that they have, it won't be that either, it's just that area. My thinking was that because vehicles go right up to the fence, but y'all need to discuss it, because it won't be cheap.
Well, the only thing I said there that concerned me is that, we're responsible for half that playground.
Yes.
So, my suggestion would be to include the playground because parents are, when they have other children at the playground, send kids to the playground. So I would include fencing and the playground also into the
Well,
complex.
that playground equipment's out there in that building, then, ain't ever been put up.
They may have their part, but we've never bought all of it.
I've been told that they have the equipment that's been in storage about a year.
I mean, we talking about putting a fence at,
341 out there.
I mean, you got a fence already out there, but we talking about side
We
of the
got,
highway.
we got fence, we've got fields fence, but we're talking about a perimeter fence.
Now, while James has brought that up, I'm on the same, probably the same wavelength we keep talking about this. I don't know of no other recreation complex that I've ever been to with a perimeter of fence. Every one of them, including our own recreation department, you can back right up there to the fence with your vehicle. I thought the whole deal was safety, to keep people off of the highways, streets, 341, that kind of stuff. And then the other reason was so you can charge people, money to come to ball games. But I can't think about Appleton County, think about Jeff Davis, think
You know, the
about.
only thing I was out there, I've been out there last month off and on, when I seen kids jump off the back of the truck, hit the fence, and hit the field. And if somebody gets mad out there, got a gun, they ain't no telling how many guns was around that field out there. Sad.
I understand what you're saying, but if you got to consider the layout of this facility here versus all in other counties you're talking about. They're not surrounded by 4 streets.
Right, so I mean, that's my question, is it to keep
It is
kids?
for safety
purposes?
purposes, yes.
So it's not to keep people from pulling up, because they're still gonna be able to
I
pull
mean,
their trucks up.
is it gonna be where
They can pull up to the perimeter fence, yes, but they can't pull up and jump.
They gotta get out and go in.
I mean, we're right there on the street. street.
I see, you know, like most of everybody else, I see like they charge to go in, right? So I guess it's a certain distance.
Well, it's like out here where they had all these ball games, I think there were 6, 8, 10 teams come in this weekend. They started Saturday morning, started at 7:30. And like one of the head guys at the rec department, you know, statewide, he told Bruce, you get a fence around this thing, you can charge when they bring these tournaments in.
That's right.
But he said, if you'll get this fence up, he said, I'll give you some ball playing next year.
I'm with you for the rationale, but don't tell me the rationale is to keep people from backing their truck up there if it's really for safety and so we can charge people. So
I
what's
think it's
our?
some of all the above.
My main concern is safety.
Safety.
Well, I consider backing that truck up there safe.
I mean, what
I
kind
do,
of,
and y'all know.
what kind of, diagram, blueprint, whatever you call it, design, design?
We just know it's about 1,700 feet.
Rough.
You know, the whole thing used to be fenced in at one time.
At one time, when it was
Fenced in.
football field and part of the rec park, it was fenced in at that time.
But is there a way you could fence it in a sense, and then charge?
Well, 1,700 feet.
Go in.
1,700, what we're talking about.
I guess it'll be walking in, right?
Right, so basically, you have the ball fields fenced, and then you go basically behind the stands where the people sit and fence it again. And then have walk-through gates, so people just couldn't pull right up to it.
Right.
But it ain't gonna be cheap.
No.
We talking about $40,000+.
I mean, but over the periods, I mean, you're gonna be Bruce will be taking that money.
That's right.
Right.
That's what it said, you know. Besides, we gotta put a concession stand out there.
I hear a lot of
And a
guys,
bathroom.
behaviors talk about when they go out of town with the kids and all, they have to pay.
Well, this is tournament.
I don't know if it'd be too much time, they have to pay to go in.
I guess my thought was, if it's just to stop that, every other field we got in this town, I mean, our girls softball, if you can back your truck right up to it, our recreation department, you can back your truck right up to it. The only thing that's keeping, the only kind of perimeter we got there's a little 3-rail vinyl fence that, you know, just keeps the honest man out. If he wants to slip through the fence and not pay, you know, whatever, but. So if the reason is for safety purposes to divide that, then that makes more legit sense. But if it's because the rest of ours are like that for new builds, then I don't hold water.
My safety purpose, you got 341, you got
Them kids be everywhere.
Yeah.
All behind
the
cars.
Old Graham Road, you got 2 streets, it's around.
I'm with you, I'm with you on that side. We just gotta put some thought into it. Right. We gotta put some thought into how we do it, so to make it logistically feasible where you can still charge people, but not, and keep them out of the streets.
How about between now and the next meeting, Hank? Get you to come out there with Bruce, and let's look at it, and give us a recommendation then, how to do it. But we gotta figure out how, we won't do it right, we don't want to do it, and that's a redo it, let's get it right.
We don't wait for them to make
No,
a
we just.
decision if we're going to accept bids.
Yeah, let's go ahead and try to build it out, let him get it up.
After that,
You don't get no bids till we go look at it.
well, after you get a design, you can get a bid right after that.
That's right.
By the time you get it advertised, get it looked, it'll be time to do it.
So we got SPOS money in the rec department, but let's do that.
We'll have to look at that, we might have to use some money on some other stuff, we'll look at it soon.
All right, so I'll get with Bruce
And we might
on
have
that,
to have a problem spots.
and I'll make a motion for us to accept bids for the fence on the 341 complex.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All vote. Any new or old business?
Our old business at the last meeting, that, made a motion to distribute the money from the hotel hotel tax between the Board of Tourism and Chamber of Commerce. I thought when I got Kim to send me the paper, you have to actually adopt the whole new ordinance, because that ordinance was specifically for that. So I redid an ordinance that just set out the split, 23% goes to the Board of Tourism and 2% will go to the Chamber of Commerce. That's the only thing I changed.
And that's gonna start this month. I need a motion, we set that resolution.
Make a motion
Ordinance.
to accept the ordinance that Carla just discussed.
I say. Any discussion? All vote. Any more new business, old business?
That's all I
I got some. You know, we've been needing a rollback truck for the county over there for several months. We looked, everything we find is 100,000 plus 300,000 miles. That old truck we got over there, I talked to Robert, it's not safe to run up and down the road, but we got to have something to haul this trash back into. And I would like for us to start looking for a new one. We got the money to pay for it. We got to have something to haul this trash with.
Somebody make a motion
Be
to just
out.
get bids
That's
or
right,
something.
that's right, start looking for us a new truck, get bids.
Not necessarily buy, but get bids.
That's right, get bids and see what we could, but we got to have one, we ain't got nothing over there.
Right now, what we've done, our two motor graders was, being paid out of 2012 spots, which ended. Well, that money just sits there, so I have to go ahead and pay off those two motor graders, that 2012. I saved us about $30,000 there. And then I hadn't even thought about the tractor, the brush cutter to handle each of it too. But we're paying it off. So that's out of that same splosh money in 2012. So that's gonna save us about $3,000 or so. And that's gonna leave us around 50,000 in 2012. We can take that 50. And I've got about, Robert and I guess it's over $50,000 to $70,000 worth of used stuff we need to get rid of over there anyway. The auction off on good about bid. So we'll settle that. And then out of the used splosh, we have money to finish. If we decide we want to buy that truck, we should be fine to buy it. And then we just have two good roll-off trucks instead of one. That's all we got right now, really. That one goes out.
The old truck we tried to replace over there's one of them that's been cut half in two and another one put together, you know.
It's a nightmare.
We do have one good,
We do have one good, that's correct.
one of them, there's more hydraulic fluid, at least that other, I mean, it's all,
The one's about 2 years old, maybe three.
Three, I think.
if we buy it used.
The other one is, of course, it goes out occasionally too, you know, new stuff doesn't go out, but it's been shot. The problem is the old one, and we was gonna buy a good used, we thought we would buy this good, we was gonna buy some
We got
good
another
used.
6, 8,
They
10 months.
they've been looking for a solid year now, and it's just not there.
I'd make a motion to go ahead and start accepting bids for a new roll-off.
I need a second. Any discussion? All vote. Any more new or old business?
I want to mention one thing, in new business. Y'all mentioned it earlier, you were talking about the rec department, but we got to do we got to do the bathrooms out there. I mean, there were like 500 plus people out there over the weekend. We have got to get a few bathrooms done, and we will set a concession. We have found out that the guy that ran the chicken joint right there at the old Inmark station, that building is for sale with all equipment, which means this, I don't know, this guy, I don't know, guessing $20,000 worth of equipment that you would have to buy for a concession stand. It's got everything you need to open the concession stand. The rec board had went and looked at it, some members of the recreation board in Bruce. They've made a recommendation that we buy that building. That building is, they're asking $15,000 for the building with all the equipment, which is an absolute bargain. What we were saying, or what they were saying was, then they would design their you basically pour a foundation, a shelter, and have your bathrooms on the end, set this building under the shelter, and then, of course, dress it out to match, so it all looks the same.
I talked to one of the guys, he said there's one of the cookers in there, $15,000, brand new, just sitting there, never been turned on.
Looking at, if you build it in, the building, I'm looking at, if you buy it that way, buy this building, you go and play somewhere, $78,000 savings.
Could we still use our existing facilities out here and dress them up if we did that?
If we did that, I would take that old back and close it, instead of store it.
And then we still have to build.
It's gonna have you back, you got it.
I know, and I haven't been in it since,
That's what Mayor said.
since the splash pad was put up. That's the last time I've been in it. And it looked awful then.
Oh, they were stopping up under all regular.
So the rec board recommended that,
Yeah.
so I'll make a motion to go ahead and buy the building. At the records.
Needs a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
And we do have a firm fixed price on
$15,000. And that, it's got a walk-in cooler and all that in there, really, everything goes with it. Any discussion? All vote? Any more new or old business? Executive session meeting? No. Meeting adjourned. Oh.
Real quick, and it's probably been there and I just missed it, but ad is in the paper for the EMS director.
Yeah.
Info, thank you.
It is.
Meeting adjourned.
You better watch it.
Y'all in? Got signed in.
Got signed in?
Oh.
You're signed. They got 10. Here.
Yep, have a good night. Hello?
Yeah.